Next week on EastEnders, Ben Mitchell's departure begins with a surprise arrest, leaving Callum distraught. Whitney hides Brittany's secret, while Dean manipulates Jean. Avani plots to reunite her parents, and Denzel's steroid use troubles Yolanda. Whitney's return brings turmoil as she harbors a revelation with profound repercussions for her relationship with Zach. 6 EastEnders spoilers for next week. Ben Mitchell's exit story begins with shock arrest. Plus, Whitney keeps a secret, Dean targets Jean, Avani schemes and Denzel spirals. Ben Mitchell's, Max Bowden, untimely exit story begins in upcoming scenes, as he's taken away by the police, but what is his crime? His husband, Callum Highway takes action, but how will their love story end? Meanwhile, Whitney Dean is back in Walford with troubled teen Brittany Wainwright, but what is she not telling partner Zach Hudson? Dean Wicks uses Jean Slater to deflect from his own guilt, while Avani Nandrahart hopes to bring her parents back together. Finally, Yolanda Truman doesn't know how to help Denzel Danes as his inner torment reaches new heights. Read on for all your EastEnders spoilers from 25th to 28th March 2024. 6 EastEnders spoilers next week. 1. Ben Mitchell arrested at husband Callum Highway's birthday party. Callum attempts to save face when it's clear that Ben hasn't made any plans to celebrate his birthday, but Ben receives pressure from daughter Lexi Pierce and Jay Brown to step up. After Mitchell romance advice from dad Phil, Ben throws a surprise birthday party for Callum. Callum is touched by the gesture, but things take a disastrous turn when the police arrive to arrest Ben. He protests his innocence as he's held at the station, where details of a previous crime come to light. But what exactly has Ben done? Unfortunately, viewers know there's a rather long list of crimes Ben has previously got away with. 2. Callum takes action over Ben's situation. Tensions rise between Jay, Phil and Ben's mum Kathy Cotton, and while Phil calls in family solicitor Richie Scott to help Ben, an argument soon erupts. Lexi arrives home in the middle of the row, and demands to know the truth. Richie arrives to speak to Phil, but Lexi is adamant that she deserves to know what's going on too. Later, Phil takes a call from Ben, who shares a request. As the week continues, Jay and Lexi visit Ben at the police station, but things don't go smoothly and Lexi decides to leave. Meanwhile, Phil and Callum have a heart-to-heart after Callum refuses to see Ben, and Phil encourages him to give Ben a second chance. Kathy grows suspicious by Phil's behavior and confronts him, and as the Mitchells continue to cope with Ben's situation, Detective Callum uses his job to his advantage. But what will Callum do, and how will Ben's exit scenes play out? 3. Whitney Dean returns with Brittany Wainwright and a secret. Zach decides to throw Whitney a welcome home baby shower in the Vic. He reluctantly invites Lauren and Penny Branning along, but Lauren senses his awkwardness and heads over to smooth things over with Zach, promising to keep quiet about the pass he made at her. Whit arrives home with Brittany, who reveals that she is her new foster mom, and when Whitney confirms the news, Zach storms out in fury over being kept out of the loop. Whitney tries to clear the air with Zach, while Lauren looks after Brittany as she senses the tension between the couple. Zach and Whit continue to clash when they arrive home to the built cot for their baby, and Zach leaves as Lauren and Brittany arrive. Whit and Lauren have a heart-to-heart before Zach returns home to build bridges, but things remain tense between them as Whit reveals she's taking Brittany shopping. Whitney catches Brittany secretly discarding her bedsheets, having wet the bed. Zach later reveals he found food hidden under Brittany's bed, and points out that they need to tell social services. Brittany overhears and explains why, causing Zach to open up about his own experience as a foster child before taking the teen for a cooking lesson at Walford East. Whit takes a phone call from social services, but Lauren hears the conversation and presses Whitney, who soon reveals all. Lauren insists that Whit must tell Zach the truth, but their conversation is interrupted by Peter Beale and his date, who are heading to Lauren's 30th birthday due at the Albert. At the party, Lauren reasons that she's been too hard on Whitney after a chat with Chelsea Fox. Whit promises to tell Zach the truth, but what exactly is she hiding? Describing how Whitney's decision affects their relationship, actor Farrar said of Zach's mindset, "There's a lot of resentment." Zach feels like things could have been communicated better by Whitney. He can't understand why she's hiding things and worries there is a lack of trust between them. They've never hidden stuff like this from each other, and that's why Zach and Whitney's bond has been so strong. With everything they've been through, this doesn't sit right with him. It looks like the pair's bond could be severed ahead of Whit's exit, but will the pair confess their secrets? 4. Dean Wicks frames Jean Slater. Jean is shocked to see Jade Massoud back in the square so soon after her hospital stay, and Dean leaves her in charge of the teen after a reporter from the Walford Gazette requests an interview. Johnny Carter interrupts the interview, offering to give a character reference on Dean. Alone with Jade, Jean presses her, discovering that Dean has been administering her medication. Jean then finds the empty pill cases, but Dean returns home just as Jean is trying to take Jade back to the Slaters. Dean thinks on his feet and puts the blame for the empty tablets on Jean, but will he get away with it? 5. Avani Nandra Hart plays matchmaker for Priya Nandra Hart and Ravi Gulati. Avani skips school and conjures up a plan to explain her absence, while mum Priya Nandra Hart's, Sophie Khan-Levy, flirty banter with Martin Fowler is interrupted by a message about Avani's truancy. Priya and Martin find the teen in the playground, and Avani is amused by dad Ravi Gulati's jealousy over Martin. Avani tells brother Devinder Nugget Gulati that she plans to get Priya and Ravi back together. Priya asks Martin on a date, but Avani tries to play matchmaker by fibbing to Ravi that Priya is ill. Both men arrive at the house at the same time, but Martin gets the wrong idea and leaves, with Priya furious over her daughter's antics. Priya and Ravi chastise Avani, and Ravi encourages Priya to go on a date with Martin at Walford East, where Priya and Martin get on well. But Avani wreaks havoc by pouring wine onto Martin's lap during the date. Will her plans work? 6. Yolanda Truman despairs over troubled Denzel Danes. Amy Mitchell is upset when Denzel once again chooses the gym over her, and he snaps when she lectures him on her fitness obsession. He feels guilty, then gets a text informing him that his steroids are being delivered today. But he clashes with Yolanda in the cafe when she questions him on his diet. Priya advises Yolanda to remain firm, but Denzel remains closed down at home and Yolanda hides the mysterious package that arrives for him. She's determined to get to the bottom of Denzel's struggles, and after some advice from Kat Mitchell, Yolanda again tries to help the lad, but he refuses to open up. Yolanda tells him that if he wants his parcel back, he must start talking. Nugget and Denzel make amends after he lies about his confrontation with Yolanda, and Nugget speaks to Yolanda at the laundrette. But when Kat catches Denzel stealing his parcel from Yolanda's bag, will his purchase of the steroids be exposed? EastEnders has confirmed that Denzel will succumb to steroid use as his struggle with body image spirals, with the BBC soap working with Charity With You to accurately portray the topic. Anyone identifying with Denzel's story can find help via With You, which offers support on mental health and the dependency on alcohol and drugs. EastEnders spoilers: Whitney Dean stuns with a confession that has far-reaching consequences. Whitney Dean is set to return to Albert Square in upcoming EastEnders scenes, but she has a confession that will have far-reaching consequences. Whitney has been staying in Milton Keynes with Bianca Jackson, but soon decides it is time to head home. Back in Walford, Zach Hudson organizes a welcome home baby shower for the mum-to-be, and reluctantly invites Penny and Lauren Branning following their near kiss. Sensing his awkwardness, Lauren goes to see him and clear the air, promising to keep quiet about the pass he made at her. Later, Whitney returns home, but Zach is shocked to see Brittany Wainwright with her. It is soon revealed that Whitney is Brittany's new foster mum, much to Zach's horror, and he ends up storming out, furious that he hasn't been told. The next day, Whitney finds Zach to try and clear the air, while Lauren takes care of Brittany. However, it isn't long before she is getting up to no good in the square. Unfortunately, Zach and Whitney continue to butt heads, even as they arrive home to build a cot for their new baby, and when Lauren and Brittany arrive, Zach ends up leaving. Whitney and Lauren end up having a heart-to-heart, until Zach returns with the intention of building bridges. Tensions remain high between the pair when Whitney reveals she is taking Brittany on a shopping trip. However, before they leave, Whitney finds Brittany trying to discard her bedsheets, having wet the bed. When Zach later finds that she has been hiding food beneath her bed, he reasons they should inform social services. Brittany overhears him, and soon reveals her reasons, leading Zach to open up about his own experience being fostered. As the pair begin to bond, Zach takes Brittany for a cooking lesson at Walford East. Meanwhile, Whitney takes a call from social services. Lauren overhears, and soon presses Whitney for answers, leading her to make a shocking confession. Lauren insists that Whitney must tell Zach the truth, though later reasons that she may have been too hard on her. However, Whitney promises that she will tell Zach everything. Please subscribe our channel.